Hundreds of years ago, Wick in Caithness had its own hangman, with his duties extending to other areas of the county. He was appointed by the Wick Town Council, and so he was close to his work. He lived in the area. The borough records mentioned the hangman several times, as a new one was appointed every so often, replacing the old one. One of these was William Callum, a man who took up the position to save his own skin. Callum was a fisherman, and in the record dated 2nd October 1741, it states that between the 4th and 5th of September that year he stole a sheep belonging to Robert Begg at the Hill o' Wick. It went on to say he slaughtered it at mid-deck of the Park of Wick. The head, feet, skin, and 4 legs of the animal were found in his house by Robert Winchester, the bailey, and Donald Lyle, the fiscal of the court, known today as the Procurator Fiscal. They had searched the premises on 5th September, and he was imprisoned for the theft of the sheep in the prison of the Cross in Wick. To wriggle out of spending any more time in jail than was absolutely necessary, he agreed to become the hangman and executioner within the borough. This extended to all of the county, to its borders in the south and west with Sutherland. He bound and obliged himself to enact and perform everything proper and incumbent upon him in that office, as ordered and authorised by the local magistrate in performing his duties. Whether he actually carried out a hanging or not is unknown, but there is no record of him doing so. However, Gallow Hill is a possible hint there was indeed a hanging or two carried out at some stage. The fact he was appointed in the first place does hint his services were required. There were conditions attached to his appointment. He had to hand over 1 fish in every dozen he caught to the town council, but in return he lived rent-free on a plot of ground in the far east of the old town. It was known as the Hangman's Rig. Tradition has it that at some point, friends of a person who committed a capital crime managed to bribe the hangman to get him to bolt with some kind of consideration for the hangman for his troubles. Shortly afterwards, the position became vacant, and the last criminal saved his own neck from the hangman's noose by becoming the hangman himself. The whipper of the town was also officially recognised. His duty was to whip culprits with the cat-o'-nine-tails for their misdemeanours. Sometimes he carried out his task in public, but he also carried out private whippings. One whipper was William Bremner of Bankhead. In the old records, he whipped William Elder and Alexander MacDonald, both prisoners at the tollbooth in Wick, 25 lashes to each of them upon their naked backs in the marketplace of Wick. If, however, the Sheriff Depute decided it was to be carried out in Thurso, he was willing to go there. The strange thing about the whipping was that the 2 men were going to have to pay for the privilege, and handsomely at that. It's possible he wasn't paid with normal money, but in some other way, or so it was surmised. Known as Wal Bremner the Whippy, he was tall and half-witted apparently, and lived with his disabled sister at Bankhead. The boys of the town tormented him frequently, throwing stones at him. Jailer Willie Coggle, is also worth mentioning. Not only was Willie a jailer, he was also the borough officer, bellman, doorman, and general handyman around the town. Willie couldn't read, so when he was asked to cry out around the town, he had to get someone who could read the notice to interpret it for him. He always memorised the beginning of it, word for word, but the rest was left to his mood at the time. He found it difficult to share 2 or 3 intimations and would be sweating by the end of it. He always carried a newspaper, but when he read from it, made huge mistakes, such as fanners and stockings, for farm stocking. Once, a troupe of actors from Bath, under Mr. Twisselden, arrived to put on a play, Hamlet, in the old town hall above the jail in Tollbooth Lane. Willie went round the town calling out, "Take notice that on Friday night in the town hall at 7 o'clock precisely, Mr. Twiss, Friss, Twisselden's celebrated company of actors will perform the tragedy of Gimlet, Prince of Dunkirk." But it was as borough jailer that he became a notable Caithness character. He was in charge of the old toll booth, with a record of 1807 stating, "It is not fit to hold a prisoner who has any intention to get out and ingenuity enough to contrive the means." This was indeed true. On one occasion, a female prisoner called Isabella Dove, known as Belle, had been consigned to jail for a misdemeanour, under the auspices of Willie. 2 male cousins came to visit Belle one Sunday to relieve her tedium. They were in high spirits and carried in spirits, and managed to cheer up the beleaguered Belle. It was only courteous to offer Willie a drink, which he happily accepted, but soon he was slumped on the floor, sound asleep. The cousins and the prisoner managed to take the keys from the drunk Willie and revelled in the fresh air, giggling at facilitating Belle's escape. On leaving the cell, they kindly locked the door so as to leave the jailer in peace, and threw the keys behind the jail. Willie slept until mid-afternoon, and when he woke up, there was no prisoner in the cell, no company, and no keys. Staggering to the barred window, he called for help. The locals were just leaving the church when they heard his cries, and more than a few of them giggled at the jailer being in jail. While they took stock, Willie treated them to a foul-languaged peppered rant. He panted, bawled, kicked, and tried to entreat them to help, but that only came when the Provost of Wick and Chief Magistrate, Alexander Maclay, ordered the door forced. The keys were found soon afterwards, and remarkably Willie kept his job, and the keys could be heard jingling in his blue coat pocket, a warning to others not to mess with him. Willie died sometime before 1838. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.